Welcome, mortgage broker community. We got another segment of the weekly sales meeting. We have a lot to cover, some really exciting announcements coming up here, but we're going to get started and get right into it and talk about we're at the midway point for 2020. This is a critical point in the year. I think we can all agree that the first 6 months of the year were by far and away the longest 6 months of any year that we've experienced. It's been a tumultuous and very unprecedented time the last 3 to 4 months. But now that we're mostly through that, now we're ready for the second half of the year, it's time to make the in-game adjustments. It's time to focus on what we're going to do to make sure the second half of the year is as good of a second half as it can possibly be. So when we talk about making changes for the second half of the year, we talked a lot in the last couple of weeks about growing our teams. We talked about hiring LOAs and processors and doing the things necessary within our operations to be better in 2021 and 2022. But now is the time to make the critical changes that put you in a position to be successful. Now, that could be changing who your lender partners are. That could be adding a lender partner. That could be adding a vendor that streamlines and automates parts of your business. Whatever those things are, now's the time to make the decision. I can't stand it when I talk to business operators and loan originators and they tell me they're waiting for January to make changes in their business. There's no reason to wait till January. Now's the time. The second half of this year is going to be bigger than the first half of this year. Over the last couple of months, we've seen most of the economy close down, so home sales have not been as aggressive as they could have been. We saw a lot of credit restrictions due to forbearances and due to all of the market volatility. All of that's going to start coming back. We're going to see jumbo lending coming back. We're going to see a lot of the overlays that we've had out there start to come back. And with that said, that means more applications, more loans to do, and we have to focus on making sure we can capitalize on that. So for second half of the year, let's talk about it's not business as usual. I spent a lot of time since Thursday working with brokers that are having issues with different lenders, whether it's closing packages not going out, having issues with last minute conditions coming up and having to wait 4 to 5 days for condition turn times. We have to focus on making sure that we understand that it's not business as usual. This year, the overall size of the mortgage market is set to be $2.7 trillion. That will be the biggest mortgage market in over 14 years. Every single lender in the entire industry, in wholesale and retail and all channels, has record volume. They can't keep up. We can't do everything the way we used to do. We have to be more proactive. We have to understand that we don't have the time that we used to have. We used to be in a situation where initial underwrites were 24 to 48 hours. Condition reviews were 24 to 48 hours. That allowed us a lot of time on the back end, post-approval, to make up for anything we didn't do on the front end, meaning, hey, I didn't get all the conditions up front. I got it approved. Now I have 20 days to get this thing closed. I'll get the conditions after the fact. No more of that. Right now, we're looking at lenders with turn times between 4 and as many as 15 days. We're looking at condition review periods of 2 to 5 days. We're looking at closing turn times even being multiple days. We have to be proactive. It's no longer good enough to assume you'll make up for time on the back end. That's not going to happen. And we can't deliver a subpar customer experience. So first thing I want everybody to look at as we go into the second half of the year, it's not business as usual. It is now more than ever, we have to be proactive, we have to be hands-on, we have to get into the weeds of our business. So the question I would ask for you is, we do these weekly sales meetings every single week. What changes have you made, either from last week, from last month, that have impacted your business? I can tell you right now, just here at AIME, from Monday, we've made some big changes. On Monday, we thought our headcount for Fuse was going to be 25% lower than it actually is. We worked on it. We were able to open up another 20% in capacity. There's a lot of things that we do daily here that we identify. Hey, we got to fix this. We got to improve at this. It's a constant focus on how do we get better. Now think about your business. What have you gotten better at? What are the things that you streamline? What kind of automation have you adopted? How have you created more efficiencies in your customer experience or in your process? These are the things that need to be happening. Actionable things, low-hanging fruit. How are you making your business better day after day, week after week? We're not competing against the biggest broker in the country. We're not competing against the top loan officer in the country. We're competing against ourselves yesterday, last week. And that's the focus I want everybody to have, is making these adjustments right now. What is your takeaway from this meeting going to be that you're going to implement today or tomorrow that's going to help you be a better broker moving forward? So this is the one big common denominator that I see and that we talk a lot about with loan officers on a regular basis. You can't be both the player and the coach. The player blocks and tackles. The coach makes decisions. You're not going to see Bill Belichick in the huddle throwing the ball. You're not going to see Bill Belichick blocking, okay? You have to understand, if you're the business owner, if you're the leader of your organization, whether you're a team, whether you're a brokerage, you have to be the decision maker. You have to be leading. You have to be helping your team get better every day. That's why you're the leader. They're all looking at you, expecting you to drive the organization, drive the team. Your realtor partners, your title partners, your referral partners, they're the same way. They look at you as the team leader. Are you making decisions every day, or are you blocking and tackling? You can't be a player and a coach. That's not how it works. It's okay if you're a player. Focus on blocking and tackling. Do your job. Do your part. Process loans, close loans, originate loans. That's your job. But if you're the leader, whether it's a team leader, a branch manager, organizational leader, it's your job to make decisions. You can't assume anything, and you can't wait for things to happen. You have to take the bull by the horns, and you have to make decisions every day. So think about that as a business leader. Are you doing what's necessary to make your organization better for your team members? Are you doing as a team what's necessary to make a better experience for your referral partners? It's your job to make those decisions. It's critical that you're taking action. And it's very important right now at the midway point that we're evaluating our businesses and taking advantage of all the opportunities in the market. We're always going to be busy. This is one thing that my friends have told me for the last decade. People call me, it doesn't matter if rates are as low as possible or as high as possible. When they call me, I'm always saying, I'm too busy. I'm always busy. Whether you're busy because you got so much volume, you're trying to keep up with it, or you're busy because you don't have enough volume and you're chasing relationships or you're chasing business, you're always going to be busy, okay? We are in a business that's all about talking to more people, touching more referral relationships, and processing more loans. We're always going to be busy. So if we're always busy, how do we implement the things that are necessary to make us a better company, to make us a better team, to make it a better process or a better customer experience? You have to set aside the time. And this is going to be a common theme that I've talked about over the last couple of weeks. It's going to be a common theme I talk about moving forward. Somebody at some point, if you want to be better, you have to take the action to get better. And when you're going through the process, believe me when I tell you, it's never going to be fun. Any change is not fun. If you're changing your process, if you're adopting technology, if you're trying a new thing, if you're putting a little bit of more work on one of your team members that's not used to it, everybody is going to be resistant to change. That's the nature of change. But again, it all goes towards communication and the will to want to be better. And you have to be able to sit there and say, now's the time. We know we have low rates for the next 18 months. We know there's going to be a lot of opportunity in the market. We can't just settle and accept what our current situation is as what it is. We have to take action. So think about that. You're always going to be busy. How do you set aside 20% of your day? How do you set aside 10% of your day to focus on the things that you need to implement, the actionable items that you can work on to make your business better moving forward? Again, you're not losing business. The business will be there. You'll get to it, but you need to set aside time to focus on making your business better. Big announcement earlier today, if you haven't heard already, United Wholesale Mortgage announced that the Conquest program has been extended to VA loans. It's exciting stuff. We have Matt Ishbia on later today on Facebook Live on this AIME Facebook page at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. We're going to be talking about a lot of different topics. We're going to be talking about Conquest. I believe he was just on Stuart Varney's Fox Business talking about this offering for veterans and putting brokers in a position where they can extend 2.25% on a VA purchase to veterans effective today. It's a big deal. It's another big part of the value proposition of the broker channel is being able to offer the lowest rates in the market. And starting today, we're going to see VA loans as this is the channel where every VA loan goes. So look out. Make sure you join us later on today, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a great Facebook Live. We're also going to talk about the outlook for the rest of the year and some government overlays and underwriting overlays that they're rolling back. Now, it's that time. Renee Rodriguez is going to be joining us. Got a lot of content to cover. I'm really excited. He gave me a little bit of a preview of what he's going to be covering today, so I'm excited to have him join us. Renee, how are you?
I'm doing well. Just do a quick mic check. You can hear me okay?
You sound great.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, man. Well,
floor is yours.
What's that? All right. Well, broker community, it's good to see you here again. I want to keep today really short and sweet, but I want to talk about 3 of the things that probably made the biggest impact on me when it came to presentation, selling, and building my brand, my career, and everything. 2,000 years ago, Aristotle was the first person to talk about argumentative thought. If you're watching this, you're in the business of argumentative thought. You've got to make an argument as to why you are the best choice in a competitive marketplace. And if you think about it, this process has been around for over 2,000 years. And he gave the process 3 names and 3 what psychologists today would call motivational appeals. And those motivational appeals come down to understanding the Greek words of ethos, pathos, and logos. And so let's break those down for a minute. Ethos is your credibility. It's your character. It's who you are. It's what you're known as. So the simplest way to understand ethos is, would you take advice on how to lose weight from somebody who was out of shape and fat? The answer is probably no. Would you take advice on how to become a millionaire and build wealth from somebody who was broke? You wouldn't. And the reason is you'd say they have no credibility. But now I want you to understand is they have no ethos. They have no ethos with you. And so ethos is your ability to and that's your ability. It's how people perceive you. So real simple ways to grow your ethos. Simple, write an article. If you get published in a magazine, people see that magazine and they see that you are the one that has the credibility. Videos are a great way to build ethos. Presentations, be the one in front of the room versus the one watching the person in front of the room. All of that psychology plays against building your ethos and your credibility. Now, understanding ethos is very critical. People think that they own their ethos, but you don't own your ethos. And that's essential in understanding that. Your audience owns your ethos. And so when you get chosen to be the one on stage and you go up there and you bomb and you're no good, you add value and you're boring, guess what the audience does? They take their ethos away from you. They say, wow, I thought it was good, but that sucked. And then they pull it away. So once you understand the importance and the value of ethos, then you have to respect it, because the audience can take it away from you just like that. And so that is actually kind of a nice thing to understand, because it keeps you on your toes. It's every week, Anthony and I go on, how can we bring even more value? How do I make the cameras work better? How do I improve internet so this doesn't start slowing down again? All of those things, if you don't do them right, start hurting your ethos. The next piece is the pathos. Now, pathos is your emotional appeal. You may talk to a doctor who, because they're a doctor, they have ethos. But the doctor says, you know what? You're not healthy. You need to lose weight. You need to do these certain things. And you say, great, thanks, doc. I'll start next week. Well, why not start now? Well, because the doctor didn't offer any pathos, which is the emotional appeal. Emotional appeal is what drives behavior. And if you don't understand how to trigger that emotion, people aren't going to act. You can give them all the logic, all the numbers, everything in the world from a feature and benefit standpoint, presented perfectly. But if you haven't triggered an emotional reaction, an emotional connection, they're not going to act. The behavior won't change. And so this is why storytelling is so critical, why empathy is at the core of human relationships, being able to sit back and understand before you start offering solutions. If you don't have a sales presentation, meaning a client analysis, an intake assessment of some sort to listen to the customer, and beyond listening is not just saying, what's your current rate at? That doesn't count. What are your goals? Who's your family? Tell me how do you see yourself in 5 years? All the questions to truly understand where they're at. That's what creates the pathos, being able to listen. If the family just got out of a difficult conversation, or maybe they're in the middle of a cancer in the family, or somebody has COVID-19, something is stressful, and you start talking about numbers, you're missing the boat. Pathos is the ability to connect through the emotional appeal, and that happens through story. It happens through listening and empathy, all of those things combined. The last one is logos, is the one that Aristotle thought was most powerful. It was the logical argument or the logical appeal. This is why products like MBS Highway and other presentation tools are so critical to your success, because they create the logos. Here's the logos. Here's what's happening. If you do this, then that. But if you have no credibility and you haven't connected to them emotionally, the logos doesn't matter. Logical decisions aren't what drive the sales process. They're not what drive relationships over the long term. And so when you can combine all 3 of those, ethos, pathos, logos, now all of a sudden you're creating the momentum for persuasion, the momentum for influence. That is what people need. Remember, no ethos, people are going to wonder who you are. You can have ethos and logos. Man, you're a doctor and this plan makes sense, but I just don't feel like acting because there's no pathos. Sometimes people are great at pathos. Emotion is high. And they might be, incredible, but I don't understand the plan, so I don't know how to act because there's no logos. Or maybe I've got logos and I've got Pathos. The story was great and the plan makes sense, but wait, who are you? You have to put all three of those together. And so here's my action steps for you. I need you to assess on a scale of 1 to 10 this week, where's your ethos at? And guess what? If I'm checking your ethos, first place I'm going is your social media. If you are constantly joking, if you are constantly putting out things that are rude and crude, now do that me personally. If you want to hang out and do that personally, we want to tell bad jokes, all about it. But it's not going to be part of my brand in the marketplace because my customers are looking at that too. And if they're making the biggest financial decision of their life, and all they see is I'm working with a jokester who's got every meme from here to there, but I don't understand where's the value. But I've got somebody else, their competitor is putting out quality content information. Their ethos is going to be bigger than. It's going to be more powerful and more established. If they're putting out solid videos, communicating information, that's there. Now, a joke here and there is fine, but assess where's your ethos on that. Now, then assess where's your pathos. Are you a great storyteller? Do you understand how to connect with an audience? Are you empathetic, or are you just head down focused on the numbers? Where are you in those areas? And the last one is, how good are you with the technology to be able to communicate the logical plan of what you're trying to do? Are you able to show the before and after and the full plan? So rate yourself on those ethos, pathos, and logos and build a plan to improve that. And as I've always, for every week, the biggest question though is, how productive were you this week? Are you full of stories, or do you have numbers that you're putting into that important box to make sure that numbers are first and stories second? Again, Rene Rodriguez, and I will see you guys next week.
That was awesome, Rene. And guys, you can apply that both to your consumer-facing approach, your internal approach with your team, and your approach with your partners. It applies to all, and it's something that the best of the best are have that self-awareness to have alignment across all those, and those that don't, great learning opportunity to learn from the best. Rene Rodriguez. Rene, we appreciate you every week. So broker community, couple big things I want to get to, but before we get to it, number one, our Broker to Broker podcast this week features Irene Amato. Irene is a total superstar. She's owned her own brokerage for 20 plus years. She's based in New York. She was a broker through thick and thin, through the ups and downs. She went through the housing crisis. She went through multiple crises over her time overseeing her company. She's grown a great business. She has a great brand. If you don't follow her on social media, please become friends with her. She's got a strong voice. She is an unbelievable mortgage broker, and she does it the right way. She runs a great business, all referral based. Her team has culture, and they're focused on their community. So great Broker to Broker podcast. We appreciate Irene Amato. She's been a great supporter of our organization. Now, the big announcement we have this week is about a partnership, and it's a key partnership. The overwhelming feedback I've received from our members over the last couple of months has been, we need more training. I want to hire an LOA. I want to hire a processor. I want to hire a loan officer, but I don't have a way to train them. It's a key. It's a critical part of our businesses. And we all know most mortgage brokerages, we don't have the capacity to have in-house training. That's not part of our business model. Obviously, some of our lender partners extend training, but we're talking about a high touch training, multiple weeks. It's very specific to the job, and making sure that we can hire somebody that has no experience and put them in a position where when they come out of training, they have the foundation to start contributing to our team. So we've been working with Zinix. Zinix is the most well-known training company in the entire industry. They mostly have focused with retail enterprise relationships for the last several years. We've been talking to them for the last year, and we've been really focused on how can we bring an offering that's very specific to the broker community so that they can hire that LOA, they can hire that processor, and they can hire that loan originator at times like this and be in a position to capitalize on the market. So I'm going to welcome Casey Cunningham. She's the founder of Zinix. She's a great partner. Casey, welcome. How are you?
I'm outstanding, Anthony. How are you today?
I'm doing well. We're excited to extend this offering to the broker community. Obviously, you and I have talked multiple times over the last several months about the importance of being able to have access to a product like this. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to the community, but also talk a little bit about what we've put together here on these offerings.
You got it. Thank you so much, Anthony. And let me just say what a privilege it is to be part of all of you today. I'm getting some feedback, Anthony. Are you getting it?
A little bit. I can hear you well, though.
Okay. So I see a lot of fans actually in the room and some people that are graduates. So let me just say hello to all of my students or ex-students who came to Zenix and actually probably started their career with us. So Anthony, I want to applaud you for bringing the kind of value that we're about to share with everyone. And let me get specific. I've only got a couple of minutes. We're going to do an extended deep dive into the programs that are available to you with a specific price point that you guys will be excited about, because Anthony has definitely negotiated on your behalf. You guys are going to become a strategic partner of ours. We're going to try a limited time period where we're going to offer all of you the ability to build your team members. Now, for those of you who don't know me, been in business 18 years, we do one thing, and that is to serve the mortgage industry and help build new people and elevate your current people. So what we're going to do initially in this partnership is to help you in this time equip your team with new team members effectively, get you away from being a player and having to train every person, and take that burden away and allow Zenix to do that for you. Now, again, we've been doing this quite some time, so we have perfected the model. We built the company really for people like yourselves, where you don't have the affordability to go build a training department, hire trainers, build content, test it, evaluate it, etc. And so what Zenix has done is really created a model where you plug in and you can actually equip a new team members right now with the capacity challenges that are going on. Anthony's timing couldn't be better for you. So hello, everybody, again. So let me show you what's available very quickly.
And just so the broker community knows, we're going to go over this quickly now, but we're going to schedule a webinar here in the next 2 weeks. We're going to go over all three offerings in greater detail. The AIME team is going to share in the comments on this thread a link to where, if you are interested in registering a team member, where you can register, where the discount code is. So that'll all be in the comments on this thread, and we definitely plan on having a much greater deep dive in the next couple of weeks. But Casey, you can dive in.
I'm loving, I'm watching all the comments coming in of our graduates. Okay, so here's a quick one. I'm just going to show it to you. You got 3 programs available, everybody. Again, we'll deep dive next week, but let me just make it easy for you. SOAR. SOAR is for new processors. So here's the key. You got friends, family members, some unemployed people looking for jobs. You want to build a new processor in 10 working days. From the moment they start, 10 working days, leave them alone, and they will walk away with Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, and they will be proficient in the language of the industry, so you don't have to worry about what they know. Again, we'll deep dive exactly what they learned, but the key for you is you can build a new processor in 10 days and then plug them into your system and show them your technology stack, what you've got, and that's it. The second one is Originator Assist. That's easy. It's an LOA. How do I build LOAs? This is an extensive program that allows a student to be built in 5 weeks. Technically, they're going to be highly effective with you in 4 weeks. We'll explain more details later. The third is Originator. You want to build a brand new LO who knows how to deal structure, who knows all the complexities of the industry, Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, property, assets, income, liabilities, credit, understanding tax returns, deal structuring. It is Originator. So though you have those 3 programs, you literally today can sign up. So here's the deal. The program of SOAR is typically $16.99. You guys are going to get it for a preferred price of $14.95. Anthony has negotiated on behalf of all of you a 12% off these 3 programs. So Originator Assist is typically $29.99. You guys are only going to pay $26.39. The Originator program for new LOs is typically $39.99. By the way, if you bought it independently, it'd be $4,800. You guys are going to get it for $3,519. So if you're ready, remember, know this. It's going to be first come, first serve. We have 100 seats available in this initial partnership, and then we're going to reevaluate after the initial 100 are gone. So first come, first serve. You can get the price by just going to our website and putting AIME12, real easy, 12% off. You see the discount code on your screen.
Yep.
If you have questions, you need help, you're like, who do I call? We have a dedicated account executive for you. You guys are going to love this guy. Just remember Crush. You remember the Finding Nemo, right? Crush the turtle. All right. Well, this is crush@zenix.com. Real easy. Zenix is X-I-N-N-I-X. You guys should know it by now, hopefully. But just reach out to Crush@Zenix. Send him an email. Say call you, and he'll call you and answer any questions for you. But you can go literally to the website today, AIME12, It is only for AIME. This is the best price in the market in a partnership agreement. So you guys take advantage of it while you can. And let me just say, Anthony, on behalf of the Zenix team, how excited we are.
We are very excited. Obviously, I think my message to the broker community is this: is the way we evaluate partners is a couple things. A, we want to partner with people that are best in class. Zenix is best in class. This is the best training company in the country. Second thing, we want to partner with good people that understand the people part of business and understand the importance of delivering on behalf of our members, delivering on behalf of the community, and meeting expectations. That for sure is something Casey and I've talked a lot about. She's committed to it. She's done it over the course of her career. It's part of the makeup of her company. That's what she's going to do in this training. And the third thing is making sure that we have access to the tools and the resources so we can grow our businesses. We talk about it every single week. I keep telling everybody, hire the LOA, hire the processor, hire the loan officer. The experienced people are taken. This is the busiest market in the history of our country. Everybody's making money. Nobody's switching companies at this point. Now's the time to go hire that college graduate, that person that's transitioning from another career, that family member, whatever it is. Now's the time to go hire that person, bring them into your company, sign them up for training, start them off as an LOA. They can eventually become a processor. You don't have to do it all at once. But this is an offering that is very cost effective. It's going to put you in a position that they're going to have the baseline covered. And then once they get through that, it's not that they're done and they're going to plug and play and they're going to be a contributor day one, but they got the foundation. You're in a position where you skip all of that high touch part of the knowledge building, and you can at least start incorporating them into your business. So Casey, we appreciate you. We appreciate the partnership. We're looking forward to seeing the feedback from the broker community. And obviously we're gonna have a webinar here in the next 2 weeks.
You got it. Thank you so much for having me, Anthony. You guys have an amazing day.
Thank you, Casey. So last slide here, guys. We really appreciate the Zenix team. But last slide here is 2 things I want to talk about. One of the things that I keep seeing is the way people are communicating with their partners. We're heavily involved in lender escalations here at AIME. So, brokers will come to us. They'll have an issue with the lender, whether it's a loan that they need a rush on, whether it's a file that the lender dropped the ball on that they need help getting fixed. We'll help. It's part of the makeup of our company. We're focused on helping our members. We're focused on making sure that our consumers of our members get everything delivered at a level that they deserve. But one of the things I see in these communications is a hostility. And, to me, the big thing that we all have to understand is your approach will determine the outcome every single time. If you approach something from a place of hostility, if you approach something from a place of aggression, if you approach something from a place of attacking, you're not going to get a person or a third party that is going to be eager to help you. You're not going to get somebody that is going to jump in and be happy to support you. You have to understand that partnership and these relationships that we have with our underwriters, with the closers from our lenders, with all the different people that participate in our overall business, we have to treat them with respect. We have to treat them with gratitude. It's massively important. And it's something that I spend a lot of time when I get the escalations and I see the communication and I see somebody come out and say, they need to do this. The lender, they screwed everything up. It's all their fault. Pump the brakes. If that's what you're going to go to market with, if that's what you're going to go to that person when you're asking for help, right? Yes, they might have screwed up. But right now you're asking for help. Right now we're trying to get something positive done for you, for your customer, for the transaction. We can't attack. We're asking for help. Now what we can do is after we ask for help and after we take the approach of applying gratitude to our communications, we can take a deep dive. Why did this go off track? What went wrong? What was the issue? Where did this happen? And figure out all that stuff later. But if you're approaching it from this place of hostility, you're never going to get the results that you want. So I want you to understand there's a couple factors here. A, it's how it makes you feel. If you're going after somebody with hostility, you have stress. You have this burden of anxiety. And yes, I know you're working on behalf of your client. You're working on behalf of a referral partner. We all think we're going to lose a deal. We're going to lose a referral partner. I know that's part of the mental makeup. I've been doing this my entire life. I get it. But we have to take a step back. We're the professional. We need to remain self-control as we go through this process. We need to understand that if something does go wrong, the approach that we need to take to get it fixed is coming from a place of appreciation and gratitude. Hey, listen, I don't know how we got here, or hey, this is what went wrong, or here's where the underwriter missed, or here's where they missed this. Can you help me? Until you get the resolution that you're looking for, you can't take the approach that you're going to attack somebody. You're going to tell them what to do. Right now, we're in an industry that's over capacity. Everybody's working the most hours they've ever worked. Everybody's doing the most volume they've ever done. We have to understand and appreciate that everybody's overburdened. And yes, on this loan, that underwriter, that processor, that closer may have made a mistake. It's not our job to sit there and just put their nose to the fire. We need to focus on building healthy relationships, learning from these mistakes, and building healthier relationships long-term, that these people understand, hey, listen, I screwed up. I get it. This person didn't throw me on the bus. We talked about it. We came up with a resolution. And if you need to escalate it, again, that's what we're here for. We're happy to help. That's what the managers at these different companies are there to do for you. But you can't take the attacking approach. And again, there's so much normalcy that I see in this, and there's such a quick, approach to, how people are sort of, kind of taking an approach like, hey, you're supposed to do this. Fix it, just fix it. That's not the way we communicate. That's not the way you get the results done. And I'm just telling you as a leader of this community that there's no success in the relationship if that's how you're going to approach communication. You have to approach it with mutual respect and gratitude. So that's all we have for you this week. Remember, 2 p.m. Eastern time today, 11 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live here on the AIME Facebook page. Matt Ishbia, President and CEO of United Wholesale Mortgage, will be here. We're going to talk about the big Conquest VA announcement. We're going to talk about their 2020 outlook. We're going to talk a lot about where they see rates going. And also, they're hiring 1,500 people. What does that mean? What are they expecting here over the next 12 months? I look forward to seeing everybody then. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.